Sent to the future from the year 2000 by a glitch due to the Millennium Bug, I'm adapting to thrive in the peculiar conditions of the 2020s. Join me in a multimedia extravaganza as we surf the World Wide Web, catch up on 2 decades of video games, and mess around with creative tools new and old. I'm Millennium Cyborg. Welcome to the new millennium. So, Bryce. I first encountered Bryce as a free cover CD of PC format. This is what it looked like. And this was Bryce 2.0, which I actually still have somewhere on one of my backup drives. And it's actually not very different to the Bryce I'll be showing now, which is Bryce 7. In terms of user interface and everything, as far as I can tell, it's remained largely unchanged. This is a ray tracer and a fractal landscape generator, and it creates images with a really unique look. So this is the image from the promo. I don't know why the camera's rolling each time. I just switched view and the camera rolled a bit. Now, in order to get this captured for stream, it does run just fine on Windows 10, but it goes full screen. It also won't capture properly, so all of the menus, somehow, something about the way the menus are done don't capture properly in any capture mode I could find. The only way to get a clean 1080p capture was to create a Windows 7 virtual machine and then connect to it with remote desktop. So that's what I've done here. That does affect the rendering performance. The rendering performance is already kind of garbage. It does not at all use my multiple cores effectively. You'd think, oh, you're ray tracing, it's going to go 100% on all cores. It does not. It barely touches all of the... It uses all of the cores, it uses multiple threads. I don't know what it's doing, but it only uses like 20% of all the cores. And it's slower in a virtual machine. So... And it doesn't use your GPU. So all those things mean that it's very slow to render, and I won't be doing any full resolution anti-aliased renders here. I'm just going to be walking through the interface, showing a couple of scenes, and then starting a new one that I'll finish up later probably. I'll see how we do for time. Another thing that's very funny about this is that it doesn't give you any flat shaded render in the viewport. Your only options are a kind of overlay with the slowly rendered raycasted view or wireframe. There's only one camera available, as far as I can tell, that you can place in the scene. And all of the camera controls are quite awkward. If we look here, this is the nano view, I think it's called. Nano preview. Okay, good start. Okay. You know what it's doing? Does anything work? Let's reopen that. quickly. So this little preview is the only way you have of getting an idea of what the final render will look like as you're interactively editing. So I've set it to be the view from the camera in the scene, and then to pose things I edited them from this view. It's quite tricky to select things, it's quite tricky to move them around. Each type of scene element has its own editor like this. I didn't actually mean to go into here, but I'll show it off while I'm here. So the terrain is one of the big features of Bryce, and it's based off fractals that generate a height map. You can control the resolution of the height map, but even at highest resolution it's not that many grid points in total. We'll come back to this. So the things you can place in your scene are water planes, sky planes, ground planes, terrain, and then a slightly weird selection of objects. You've got stones. I think the stones are new to Bryce 7. The meta balls, compared to Bryce 2 at least. And then your basic spheres and so on, a variety of lights. And you can import objects created in other programs, just 3D models, but it only supports some very old formats. I do want to try importing some objects from Blender at some point, and I have no idea what hoops I'll have to jump through. For instance, it supports FBX, but it's a very old version of FBX, and not the modern one that you'll get out of Blender. So the other thing, apart from the landscapes that it does procedurally, are the materials. See if I can select this. There's a built-in library of materials, and they're quite good actually. They're quite a wide variety. The material editor itself lets you mix a few different fractal layers in various ways, and I mean, you can see it's not obvious what's happening when you open this up. I figured out a few different things. How to mix the layers and set the material properties, but I kind of don't know what I'm doing here. The other thing you can do is create an animation, which is based on a slightly awkward keyframing system. There's a timeline at the bottom of the scene and also in each of the editors. You can animate a lot of different kinds of properties, like in a more modern program, like in Blender, but it's very awkward then going back and finding the things that have been edited. I don't really know how to use this motion lab thing. So let's open up. This is the scene for the background that I use for a lot of elements in the stream. It's really simple. It's a sky plane, a water plane, one terrain, and a few spheres. And I've also created an animation. Let's see it in the scene first. Did it crash? What's going on? Oh no. I swear it worked fine before. Let's go to this scene and I'll show you what the animation should look like. When fully rendered, and this takes a very long time. You saw how long it takes one frame to render? Adding anti-aliasing and all kinds of, you know, slight graphical improvements again really increases the amount of time. But that's the kind of result you can get if you're willing to wait. I recorded myself creating the promo image and didn't get any crashes, so it's interesting that it's crashing now. Okay, well, let's create a new scene. I wanted one background that's just a kind of futuristic city. Let's start with the simple one. So I've created a ground plane. If I can get the camera to cooperate. See. I'm just picking some settings, trying to get it to render quickly. So for this scene, I'm just going to place down, I'm going to use some preset textures, or rather materials, and I'm going to place down a bunch of cubes as buildings. Let's scale them up a bit. So, in Blender, you've got all kinds of nifty keyboard shortcuts, and I find this kind of general scaling and translating and rotating controls very nice to use. In here, and I may be missing some alternatives, but as far as I know, you've got to use these terrible little widgets. So here we're going to scale up the height, and they're really sensitive. Slightly bit perspective going on here. They are straight. Let's position the camera and then I'll start worrying about materials. I want it perfectly aligned. I'm not sure. There we go. I can't stop it in the right position. Did that work? I'm trying like shift and control. I've not figured out exactly how these respond. It's very counterintuitive. You'll be moving it one way and it'll suddenly start going the opposite way. I think that's not quite aligned. But let's see. I need the scene to be smaller, rather the render. Oh, and there's the aspect ratio. That's a good size, 640 by 480 maybe. That's better. Why is the editor constrained to the same resolution as the render? I have no idea. That's going to be awful to use. Okay, Let's try tiny adjustment camera. It really makes no sense. You'll be moving it one direction and it'll adjust, and then you'll move it in the opposite direction and it keeps going the same way. Okay, let's drop the camera. Have a looking up. That was the wrong axis. A little less. Okay. I'm now going to add more buildings. That's not right. I can see that it's selecting the ground plane as well, and I'm not sure why. I'm going to use one of these weird controls here to select all cubes. There we go. Okay, that's starting to have the sort of effect I was looking for. The lighting's a bit funny. The sun's not pointing the direction I want. Let's fix that first. Maybe something like this, let's see. What's happened to the ground plane? It's still here. Do I need to move it? I somehow... Still there. Did I reset its material somehow? So I wanted to use one of these sci-fi looking textures. camera. All right. I want to scale up the material slightly. I don't know if I'll be able to meaningfully align the texture to the buildings, but let's edit the material. So these are the texture scales. We've got 3 different textures. I definitely correctly used these while preparing some of the Pro images, but the ground, okay. The preview really is just tiny. That's what you get. Visual texture. Okay, here we go. I remember this. Close. Okay, with I'm just going to scale everything up from 50% to 100%. What's going on? Somehow this wasn't here before. I mean, it's not being referenced, so I think it's fine. Does that look scaled up? They look scaled down. Let's have another go. What am I expecting? I'm expecting it'll have been scaled down. We'll get more line density. Yeah. Okay, so I want to do the opposite. Tiny bit faster clicking through. What? What? It's unchanged. What's going on there? What? When I paste it, it does. When I paste it, it's not changing. If I type it, it's fine. Okay. That'll do for now. Let's go back to select all cubes. And let's give them material from the material library. Try this one for a start. Okay, that didn't work. They're all selected. That had an effect. That worked. Look at that. Okay. I want to scale that one down. So we'll say 500 maybe? Is that too much? Let's find out. This one's... well... that's not a perfect scaling, but I don't think it matters. That is a bit obviously repetitive. If I pick 3 different coprime values, that would minimize the amount of repetition, of visible repetition. The yellow will still stand out, but let's try it. what? 5, 3. Maybe this should be. Right. I think this is not going to be the right value, but it's a bit too squished in. What values do I want? I want to bring this one. Let's have this one at a 300. And this one, ideally I'd be thinking about coprime integers, but I cannot pull those off the top of my head. Instead, I'll go with this sort of thing. Interesting that it takes longer to render depending on the texture scale. Next, let's pick the sky. I mean, I'm not 100% satisfied with that, but I want to rough in some more of it. Ooh. So there is some emissive with the some of these textures. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I remember spending a long time waiting for the renders to finish on my old copy of Bryce 2. I need to take a quick break, but I'll be back and we'll fiddle with the sky and texture value some more and produce a kind of first version of the render. See you soon. And back. Right. There's something off about the lighting here. Like it really feels... Thank you. Buildings don't feel like they're part of the scene. I don't know why that is. Is it the direction of the light? Let's try a different sky. The renders never look quite as dramatic as the previews. I do like this. You can see that there's a fog effect, and it's right, yeah. The kind of fog isn't reaching the building somehow. Buildings do reach the ground. You'd even move them into the ground slightly. Could it be that the material isn't set up to interact with the fog? Transparent specular halo. I don't think it's any of this. Oh, was it in my render options perhaps? I did turn off a bunch of things. I think that was it. textures on off. Interesting. Amazing how long it still takes with no textures. Depth of field. Ambient. Masking. I'm just going to try that. Oh, it does. Okay. That could be useful for some kind of fancy compositing. I enjoy these very confusing UIs, but when it comes time to try to actually achieve some end result. Fog, what's the difference between fog and haze? I guess haze is in the atmosphere. Color perspective? What could that possibly be? What else have we got? Attributes. Family, that's just setting a color. Material, group. Instancing. Should probably use the instancing. Land object, so that's to actually help you place an object on a landscape. It's otherwise because it's so hard to see. You only have the wireframe view. It's extremely hard to place an object on a landscape, a fractal landscape. You can drop it. Oh. I mean, it's possible that the fog just doesn't interact with objects, but that would surprise me. Interesting. How is the sky and fog and environment affecting the rendered color of the building material? I'm going to modify that material, it's bothering me now. try a different skybox again. Oh, these are... too weird to even use. Wow. Well, that looks cool. I'd like the... You don't see much of the clouds. I'm modifying the cloud height. Maybe the... Let's see. Oh. I thought some of the textures were emissive, but no, I really don't understand. How are those bright yellow textures completely dark now? Okay, so the texture is affecting the ambient value. And nothing else. What's the difference between ambient and ambience? Go back to the original version of that material. Ambient color is really dark, so what if... There we go. Okay. This is about as far from physically based rendering as you can get, I think. A bit brighter. And let's scale them again. Here the 50, 11, 100. Just gonna double them. I want to scale just the yellow sort of window texture. Do it more. Interesting. There's actually a different texture that's a mask for the yellow one, right? That's what this is. Texture B. I'll do that for instance. Okay, that's going to be way too much, but wow. Instead of scaling that one, untitled image, this one says. This is an image texture. It's also used for the diffuse and specular. Oh, and this one is just a bump map. I've never even seen this dialogue before. I'd like to copy this particular image source into slot C. How do I... Ah. Do those material options fix anything to do with... Doesn't affect the fog. Distance blur. How do you add a new texture? All this is animation. Okay. Aha. Okay, so I want this one to be used for ambience instead of B. We're using C. Why is that 0%? Okay. But this one will go back to 100. And what I'm hoping is I'll have something that looks a bit more like lit up windows. All right. I'm going to save this actually, given how often it's been crashing. I really do wonder about these now. What does fuzzy mean? What does light mean? Okay, light, I don't even know. Normal, lens transparency, additive. Wow. You can probably improve render times with these shadow settings. Distance blur. Volume blend. Enhanced bump. What should you do? What if we set a sphere Create a sphere. Move it far away. And see if the fog affects it. I guess it doesn't, huh? What about some terrain? Gotta do it for terrain, right? I can't really tell. I'll have to spend a while investigating that off stream because it's really confusing. Okay, well, I had more grandiose planned for another scene with a kind of sci-fi city by the sea, but that'll take a lot longer. What can we do here? Ah. There are some volumetric materials, right? If we make... Why does it work that way? Okay. We make a large volume. And then give it a cloudy effect. I want fog rather than... Let's try this one, dust. I think that's kind of working. I'd quite like it to be altitude based so that it's more concentrated at the ground level. very thin. Hold on. Has it affected the ground plane in a funny way? Camera's inside the volume. So it's affecting the full image more than I'd like. So if we dial down the density again, that's a bit thin. Seems to be quite sensitive, not quite linear in terms of effect. Okay, well, it's not quite there yet, but I'll continue fiddling off stream. I'm glad I was able to show off Bryce a little, and I will continue to learn how to use it and hopefully do some more impressive things with it in the future. Well, thanks for joining me. It's time for me to go. And if you, like me, have caught the Millennium Bug, make sure to watch the next stream, or find me elsewhere on the World Wide Web by clicking on the links below the video. I've been Millennium Cyborg. Keep that future vibe, and I'll see you in the world of tomorrow.